Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Man's Noble Beer Reviews. It's been a little while since I did a review. I've been busy the last couple weekends. Today I have a beer that is a collaboration between two breweries in Asheville. It's Dssolvr, see there? And if you're familiar with Zillicoah, that's their symbol. This is an ordinary bitter, 3.5 ABV. I've only had a few beers from Dssolvr. I don't not like them, but I didn't love the stuff I've had from them. But it's like I said, it's very, very small sample size, so I won't say anything beyond that. But anything that Zillicoah is involved in, I generally don't think that collaborations are really mean much. It usually just depends on where the beer was actually brewed, and which in this case was at Dssolvr. But anything that Zillicoah is involved in, I always want to try because they're probably my favorite brewery down here, and definitely my top 5 breweries, period. So, yeah, and I'm pretty excited to drink this because I have not had like an English bitter, in a really long time. And I just mean English bitter by style. This is obviously not English in origin, but that's also why I'm got this glass here. This is like a nonic pint. So crack it open and see what we got. And I also just didn't feel like drinking something super strong right now, so something that's 3.5. Oh well. I generally don't pour the whole thing so I can take a picture with it afterwards, but it's too late now, so it is what it is. See, it pours a nice ruby red to like chestnut brown color with a small off-white head. The aroma is very nutty. I would say it's kind of like almond and walnut. There's a little bit of like a grassy, noble hop presence in this too, which I'm assuming there's not noble hops in this. Is probably English hops, but yeah, it just says English malts, East Kent Golding, and Fuggle. So yeah, they're British hops, but there is something a little more spicy about the hops than I would guess from those English hops. But either way, it smells like a really nice, like bready, nutty English ale. So I'm kind of excited. That has a ton of flavor for being 3.5% alcohol. Holy shit. Not just the flavor, but the body feels hefty. That's crazy. I would guess this was actually like a scaled up version of an English bitter, like a 6% one, which would be actually above what the average is for this style. Very nutty in the flavor, just like the aroma. It's actually a little roasty, which I guess isn't a surprise given the color. You know, it's not super dark, but it's not lighter bitter. And there is a bit of bitterness on the back end. You know, a lot of times bitters aren't really that bitter, but this one does have that hop bite on the back end. But it's very, very clean. I was teetering on whether to buy this or not, just because it's not like made at Zillicoah. But basically, the reason I finally decided to buy it was because it was 3.5% and it was English bitter, and I was like, how often do I even get a chance to drink this style, other than if I go to some like rando English or European pub that has like Boddingtons on tap, which is usually like a dirty line and something like that. How often I really have like a good version of that style and I can drink it whenever I want because it's 3.5%. So that's why I grabbed it, and I'm very, very happy that I did. This is fantastic. It actually, the more I drink it, I'm getting a bit of like a butterscotch flavor too, which I know can. A lot of times, butterscotch is like the hint of a dirty line if you get a tap pour. Obviously, that's not the case here. That's something from the malt, I'm assuming. Uh, this almost reminds me of like a slightly roastier, hefty version of a German Oktoberfest. It's definitely nuttier and toastier, but it's kind of in that same realm, and it has that, like I said, that little hint, not just the hop bitterness, but that little hint of like the noble, like spicy hop character. I know it says it only has East Kent Golding and Fuggles, but there's something in this that is like very, very, very lightly skunky almost. It would be more along the lines of something German or Czech even. But either way, this is a great, great beer. I'm so glad that I bought this. And I think it was like $3 a can too, which, is by today's standards for a general beer is like really cheap. For something that's 3.5%, if you care about that, I guess it's not necessarily cheap, but it's also not breaking the bank. Um, but just for the quality of it and the flavor, I think it's easily worth that. So given that, on my scale of buy, drink, dump, this is definitely a buy. And I did like the aroma, but the aroma was a little muted compared to what the flavor is. A lot of times it's the opposite, especially with like IPAs and stuff. You're like, oh, that smells so fresh, and you taste it, and you're like, this kind of tastes like all the other ones. This is the opposite of that. Like, it has a nice aroma, but the flavor is so much more intense and bright than the aroma. Yeah, I don't know what else there is to say about this. Um, I would say if you like Zillicoah and the classic styles that they do, if you like English style beers in general, or especially bitters, you want to try a really well made American version of it, I would absolutely recommend this. Is a very, very good beer. I think that's all I got on this one. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think, and I look forward to doing the next one. Thanks.